G37 or Q50? That is the question, a big question. Before we get into this video, make sure you go to the link in the description below. Holy balls. Make sure you go to the link in the description to the giveaway video. Get yourself entered to win the Q50 rear splash guards, painted Malbec black, never been mounted, never been installed, perfectly brand new condition. The giveaway will be done tomorrow, May 23rd, probably around 5 o'clock-ish, I would say, in the afternoon. So make sure you are tuned in Instagram, and then I'll follow up with the winner, of course, on the YouTube video, and we'll get your address and we'll get it shipped out to you. So the question of the day is Q50 or G37 or G37 or Q50, and I will tell you the reason I'm doing this video is because I get this question quite often. Most of the time, it's from guys that are currently in a G37 and looking to upgrade or move up to Q50 37, the VQ37 Q50, not the 3.0T. That's the focus of today's video. Or people are shopping, they love the Infiniti brand, now they're looking at G37s or Q50s. They like the VQ37, they want to stay with that platform, but they're not sure which one to get. So here we go. I want to start with exterior styling. In stock form, the G37 really isn't all that attractive, in my opinion. Although the sport wheels are nice, there's just not a lot going on in the front end. The headlights are quite boring. The front end itself is just kind of blasé. The grille is ugly, in my opinion. The side profile is a little bit more interesting, especially in the coupe, but the deck lid and the rear bumper section, just bland. It's just bland. The coupe is much better than the sedan, but still, overall, it's just kind of boring and a little bit ladybuggish, honestly. Although the Q50 in stock form still looks like a family sedan, and most of the time you're seeing 7-year-old women drive it, I think it looks a little bit better than the G37. I'm still not a huge fan of the wheels, but overall the profile is much more sleek and sophisticated. The body lines are much more appealing and aesthetically pleasing. The headlights are way more aggressive. I'm not a huge fan of the chrome grille still, but the front bumper of the sport version especially is much more aggressive than in the G. The taillights are more modern with some additional contours. Just overall better look. Now let's talk exterior styling with modifications. Really, the G37, it doesn't take a whole lot to make it really aggressive looking. There's a lot of aftermarket support for exterior styling modifications, spoilers, splitters, the whole 9 yards, suspension. So let's take a look here. Here's a nice example of a sedan from Easy Splitters. Just a splitter, slight change to the grille, different headlights, lowered with different wheels. Car looks great. See, it doesn't take much to get the G37 coupe to look good. Check out Slow 37 on YouTube. Wheels lowered, slight change to the grille, and some headlights, looking sweet. See, now this is my style of G37 coupe. Tint, wheels, it looks sharp. Of course, get rid of that nasty factory grille, looking good. I'm sure everybody is familiar with my buddy George 16G37 on Instagram. This guy knows how to make a G look good. Currently wrapped in this beautiful red with that hood and those wheels. Oh, there she is in white. He's gone through a couple variations in the spoiler, but just a great looking car overall. And jeez, look at that there. You can make a G look aggressive for sure, and George knows how. So you guys can see those are some pretty fine examples of some aggressive, really clean, nice looking G37s. Obviously the coupe makes a difference. The 4-door sedan is kind of I don't know. But with just some basic, relatively simple changes to the exterior, including wheels and some suspension work, tint, the G really looks good. You're golden. Now, aftermarket support for the Q50 is, for exterior styling anyway, is starting to get better and better. It seems better and better every month. There's more people offering parts, there's people customizing things, there's people trying new things with the Q. So it's getting better and better, and with just a few simple things you can really make the Q look good as well. Here is a prime example of how good you can make a Q50 look. No chrome delete even, just the duckbill spoiler, a diffuser, some side splitters, lowered, and wheels make a huge difference. That thing is gorgeous. Here's my buddy Daniel's car, lowered on coilovers, some nice looking wheels, spoiler, diffuser, front splitter, which you can't see here, but God, that car is good looking. And of course, my very own Q, nothing special, non-sport model, blacktail grille with the front splitter, makes it look much more aggressive. 19-inch wheels, dark tints, lowered about 1.5 inches, just a subtle spoiler and a diffuser. And look at those lines. The body lines are so nice on the Q. Again, splitter, spoilers, diffuser, more low, getting rid of the factory wheels on the Q50. It makes a huge difference. I don't know what Nissan Infiniti was doing with the wheels for the Infiniti line, but they are garbage. I will say the G37 Sport wheels are some of the nicer factory wheels out there, in my opinion. But still, changing them out on either side, the Q50 or the G37, makes a major difference. So, I really like the lines of the Q50. I like the more modern, sleek look, kind of a longer front end, more modern rear end with some nicer updated taillights, but with the aftermarket support and aftermarket exterior parts in consideration, I'd say they're pretty dang even as far as exterior look goes. Interior styling between the G and the Q is a different story, in my opinion. Of course, now the G is 10 plus years old, so you have to expect that, but it seems a little gaudy, a little frumpy, just not all that appealing, a little bit dull. Although they haven't changed much since the 2014 Q50 through the 2016 and 2017s, and you'll have to ignore the steering wheel and the Sparco seat, but and I do like the G seats better, the true leather G seats. These kind of leatherette are just disgusting and ugly in my opinion. But the nice silver trim is appealing, a much more modern controls look, no matter what you have to say about the infotainment system or the touchscreen or the clock or navigation. This is much more aesthetically pleasing in my opinion. Over the G. Now I will say I wish they would have updated it in the 16, 17, 18, 19s, and they all generally look the same, but overall the styling is nice. The door cards have some contours and some depth and texture to them, and the dash is a little bit more aggressive and just kind of, it's overall a much more updated look, so consider that. Now, performance differences between the two is a big topic of discussion as well. Same Q37, 3.7 liter V6 engine. Parts are interchangeable for the most part, and they make about the same amount of power. I guess the power rating is relatively, if it's not the same, it's very, very close from factory. However, the header design is slightly different in the Q, and I believe, if I remember correctly, the cams are slightly different in the Q50 as well. But the G37 seems to respond better to cold air intakes and headers, so there is that. But ultimately, at the end of the day, with bolt-ons and a tune, you're going to be making about the same amount of power. You're still going to end up in that 330, 340, 345 maybe you could pull out to the wheels. 265, 275 foot-pounds of torque. So it might take you a few more dollars to get there in the G37 than in the Q50. And that has to do with a lot to do with age and mileage. Of course, Gs by this point are going to be relatively high mileage, probably 80,000 plus. You might be able to find some with that low of miles. Most of them are going to be in the low 100,000 mile range, and with that, tolerances are stretched a bit. So you just have to anticipate making slightly less power. With that being said, however, you can still get a G37 with the manual transmission, which can generally hold a bit more power, sorry about the car, than the 7-speed auto of the Q50. You're stuck with the automatic transmission in the Q50, unfortunately. So if you have big plans for your car in terms of modification, you want to increase the power substantially with forced induction, or you want to start spraying 150 shot of nitrous or something, and you're worried that the trans can handle it, it might be more cost effective to go with the G37. You're going to be able to pull just as much power out of it, but also you're going to have a little bit better chance of handling it, the power and the increased torque with that manual transmission. The G37 Sport as well is going to come with a version of an LSD, a limited slip differential, which is a huge benefit as well. Unfortunately, with the old Q50, you are stuck with the open diff. So again, it goes back to if you have big plans of increasing the power and the torque of your car, it might be more cost effective to go with the G37 if you haven't already purchased one of these cars. Now let's talk overall cost for a minute. You can get a relatively low mile G37 for well under $10,000 right now. That's still in stock form. You can find some with bolt-ons and substantial modifications if you're not interested in doing the work yourself for $10,000, maybe slightly more depending on how nice the car is and the mods and everything that have been installed. Of course, the Q50, however, Q37, they're going to be in that $15,000 to $17,000 range, depending on if you get the base model, premium, or sport, and depending on what area of the country you live in. Of course, some may still be around that $20,000 mark with 30,000 miles or something, for example. But you can find them with the 60 to 80,000 mile range for $15,000, $16,000. So it just really depends on what you're going for, and that's what it comes down to ultimately, right? What are you going for? Do you want a reliable platform that has low miles and sleek, classy looking lines and overall nice, updated, more modern look? Then Q50 might be for you. Now, if you're shopping between the two, either a G37 or the Q50, in my opinion, what I would do personally is go for the Q50, because like what I just said, you can find them with much lower miles. They're not that much more expensive these days thanks to depreciation. The engines are going to be less beat on, I suppose you could say. A lot of those Gs have been rode hard and put away wet. So I like the more sleek, classy, modern lines as well. And even, being a sedan, they're still aggressive looking with a few modifications. Now, probably the most frequently asked question I get on this topic is coming from guys already in a G37, and they're asking if it's worth upgrading to the Q50. In that case, I would say most certainly no. Like I said, I really like the leather seats of the G37 Sports. The wheels of the G37 Sport are much nicer than the wheels you're going to get on a Q50 unless they've been changed aftermarket. The engine is the same. You're going to pull the same amount of power with bolt-ons and a tune out of a G37 as you will a Q50. So spending that additional money, going through the hassle of selling the G and buying a Q, it's just not worth it for what you get, unless you really are into the slightly updated interior and the completely different design of the exterior. Other than that, performance-wise, it's not worth it in my opinion. Now, if you wanted to jump up to the 3.0T because you want some substantial power, then that's a different conversation. But going from a G37 to a Q50 37, I wouldn't do it personally. Guys, don't forget to click the link to the giveaway video in the description below. If it's not May 23rd, 2020 yet, you still got a chance to get entered to win those rear splash guards. Let me show you. Here is the package all ready to go. A few stickers, Speed Culture t-shirt, and still nicely wrapped the rear Malbec black splash guards. And don't forget the handmade leather Speed Culture Studios keychain. All right, guys, I hope this video was helpful for any of you guys that have asked me that question over the last several months. I get it quite frequently, so hopefully it can shine a little bit of perspective on this topic for you. Let me know in the comment section below if you've gone through this little conundrum yourself, if you've tried to decide what to do or what route you actually chose to do. I'm interested to hear how you came to your conclusion and your decisions. I really, really appreciate the support. Hit the subscribe button right now if you haven't already. Thank you guys very, very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.